Good morning. I've been trying to get my hair in control. I don't know if anybody's noticed or not. I used to keep it really high and tight. As my wife referred to it as a cop cut, and I've had it like that for a long time. But many, many years ago, when I was a hippie cowboy, I had longer hair. And I told her, I was joking the other day and said, I'm going to let it grow back and I'm going to have a mullet. Business up front, party in the back. So I'm letting it grow out, but it's kind of, well, it's not easy. So I was due a haircut, my normal haircut, 2 weeks ago. So anyway, let's get to this recipe. You see what I was showing you on the camera. Got bread flour, all-purpose flour. There was some salt in a little container, little salt shaker, that's pink salt. Little white ramekins got sugar in it, Fleischmann's yeast. There's some, not hot water, but just some warm water back there. So what are we gonna do? Yeah, we're gonna make the Outdoor Boys bread. I've watched Luke and his family for years. I even looked a little bio up on him when they lived, I think, in Virginia. I think now full-time they're living in Alaska, and that's where he was raised. That's what I think anyway. He turned off all the comments on all of his videos. He does a video every other week, Saturday morning, and I enjoy watching it. Always something with the outdoors, and it's with his kids. But anyway, I think he was an attorney, a very good one. And of course, he's a young man. I don't even know if he's 40 years old. I guess surely he is 40, but he ain't too. I don't think he's hit that 50 mark anyway. But I love his programming, and I always love when he does his Outdoor Boy bread. He will mix it up there at the campsite with a little flour, a little yeast, a little water, a little sugar, a touch of salt. Mix it up in a plastic bag and leave it until the next morning. Gets out and mixes it up again, pulls some off and makes, what biscuits or bread or whatever he's going to do with big fat tortillas, and eats them with butter and honey on them. And it always looks really good. But he always says that he uses bread flour. So my old man is almost 73 years old. I thought about this, thought, you know what, could you use regular flour? He never says, this always says bread flour. And I've looked it up on the internet. I know the difference between the two because I bake a lot. And but anyway, it always says bread flour, unless somebody's seen a video that I don't, that I've never seen anyway. And if you get a chance, you want to watch a really good Christian family, good Christians, YouTube values, watch his show. They're hunting and fishing and enjoying life in the outdoors. And he was even a missionary, I think, for 2 years in Japan. So he's taken his family over there, and they did some fishing. And it's just a great, enjoyable watch when you watch the Outdoor Boys. Anyway, I'm going to make his bread. It's about a 24-hour thing. He mixes all of it in a plastic bag. I'm going to do too, because I'm going to use the regular flour also. And then puts it in his fridge, or if he's out at the campsite, he mixes it when he first gets there, and then the next day he's got bread to start working on. So let's get this party started. All right, let's get to mixing. Get down over here so you can see what's going on. I've got 2 bags. You maybe read by Hen Scratch. One says OB Outdoor Boys and a bread flour. So I'm going to take the bread flour first. He just said he just dumps a little bit of flour into the bowl. I don't think he ever gives really exact measurements, which is good because that's the way I cook. And I've got my Outdoor Boy cup. This is my old Boy Scout drinking cup, and it holds 1 cup of anything you want to put in it. Liquid, flour, don't matter. So I'm going to give me a heaping helping cup of this and put it in. This is the bread flour. figure I'll knock one of these off before it's over. I have a mess to clean up. As I'm getting flour all over me now. And here's AP flour going down. All right, I've got the bread flour here. And he always just takes a little bit of yeast. I don't know if I've got the same kind. I've got this Rapid Rise. That's all I can find. Cut it open here. And I really want everything to be kind of even. So I'm not going to pour it into here. I'm going to measure it. See that yeast in there? There you go. Let's see, this is a half a tablespoon, 1/2 a tablespoon. That should be about half of in the package. I'm just going to sprinkle it in. The other half goes down in here. I'm going to sprinkle a little salt over them. I've got sugar. He just says put a little bit of sugar in them, so I know the yeast will feed off of the sugar. I'm just going to kind of mix that around a little bit. And mixing just tap water. How much? I don't know. Well, the yeast is alive. I can see it already start to bubble. And I'm probably going to have to add some more water into this. I've seen him do this at the house, and other people do this same thing. They put it in a big bread bowl and mix it all up. But I've also watched him at the campsite, and he just does it in a plastic bag. If I was on a camp out, I would not have all the big bread bowls and stuff. So I'm trying to recreate like Mr. Outdoor Boys would do. It's finally coming to a, you see it's getting pretty moist here. So that was about 1 cup. I'm going to go ahead and put the other cup in here. There was 2 cups in here to start with. bread flour, I don't know. I think it's a finer texture because the same amount of water got that really wet and moist. And it's still a little dry in this one, but I know how to take care of that. He says add enough water to get it moist, so. So that's what I'm doing. I can tell you it smells good. I love yeast rolls. I've got a recipe, my grandmother's and my aunt's. It's a school roll like they made in the 1960s. It's a yeast roll. They would make the bread one afternoon and get it all put together, come in the next morning, punch the loaf down, you know, it rises up, punch it down, and right off the bat I can see the difference because I've added more water, and it's slowly but surely coming into a ball. But it took more water. So can you use all-purpose flour? I don't know, maybe one of them has more gluten. I can't remember. It says this unbleached bread flour has 12.7 and this all-purpose has 11.7. So there's more gluten. Would that make a difference? Anyway, I'm gonna knead it up in the bag. No need to get all my hands in it and get them all dirty this time of morning, because I'm gonna have to come back to this either late this evening. I'm gonna put it in my fridge, try and get all the flour moistened. It's funny, this bag is a little bit warm, both of them, and I didn't add warm water, I just added tap water. So there they are, boys and girls. Got to get it all in one ball here. All mixed together like this. Let me know if y'all are fans of the Outdoor Boy or if you've ever watched him. If you've not, go to his channel. Show him some love. One looks probably better flour not mixed in here. Subscribe to his channel. And watch that amazing family. And if you're the first time ever seeing my channel, show me some love. If this is the first time you've ever watched my channel, show me some love. Subscribe, comment. If first time listener, where are you from? I had one of my friends yesterday, one of my subscribers. I consider all my subscribers my YouTube family from Germany. And so I got some in Australia. Just kind of all over the world. I'm so surprised. But anyway, subscribe to my channel and hit that like button if you like good recipes from an old country boy. And that's literally what I am. This ain't no fake stuff. I don't have a test kitchen. This is my kitchen. I record everything on my telephone, so maybe the lighting's not the best in the world. And I sure ain't the most polished, but I cook pretty dadburn good. And I cook the way my mother and my aunts and my dad did. So, and I just bring those recipes along, and I'll talk about things in my life. Every Monday I have a Monday chat. This last Monday on my Monday chat, I talked about my carry weapon that I carry, which is a public defender judge firearm. I keep it with me all the time, as I like joking, like say, you always need it. It's always good to have a judge in your pocket. So anyway, subscribe to my channel if this is your first time. And it's all over but the crying now. I mean, The dough's wet. The dough's wet. The flour's all moist. Maybe a couple of little spots that's not got some flour, dry flour on it. But this is going to the fridge. I'll bring it out either later this evening or first thing in the morning, and we'll pull it out and see what she's done. Depends on my energy levels. I am a heart patient. I'm in heart failure. I've been in for 5 years. My heart is actually holding its own for the first time, and it's got about 20% better than it had in the last 3 years. I'm recovering from a bad heart event that left me not walking in a wheelchair. I could barely talk. Well, hell, I can barely talk down. But so I've come back, and I just like I say, I ain't polished, but I do have really good recipes and stories from the past. So please subscribe and get all my videos. And I'll bring this back, I don't know, like I say, this afternoon. Depends if I have any gas left in my gas tank, or maybe in the morning. But I'll see you then. OB here. It's a yeast bread. Do you have to use bread flour? I've got some with bread flour. I've got some with all-purpose. I've got them both mixed the same. A little bit of yeast, a little bit of sugar, a little salt, 1 cup of flour of each. So any of y'all ever watch the Outdoor Boys on YouTube? It's a great family, a great Christian family, and I follow them. And the dad, his name is Luke, and he makes this amazing bread at the campfire. And he always says he uses bread flour, a little bit of water, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of yeast, a touch of salt, mixes it up in a plastic bag, comes back the next evening or the next morning, gets it out, and you can see it's risen. And my question was, could you use all-purpose? I never have bread flour, but I'm going to try them both, mix the same, and he uses it to make like thick pancakes, big, I guess you could call them biscuits. So I'm going to do the same. And in 24 hours from now, I'll probably know. I'm going to put these in the fridge and let them rise in a cold temperature. All right, back with you on this Outdoor Boys Adventure bread. I took and cut the tops off of. This is the bread flour one. It did come to a rise. I pulled it out about 10 minutes ago and let it come to room temperature. It's sticky as heck. I think he talks about it, that being sticky on his YouTube channel about the, and I don't know if you yeah, I guess you can see it, how sticky it is. How sticky it is. It smells wonderful. It smells like fresh baked yeast rolls. Of course, it's got yeast in it, so that no doubt of why that's going to smell like that. And sticky, gooey stuff here. I do not think he lets it come to a second rise, which if I was making regular bread or any kind of thing, I would let it come to another rise. Let me get some flour on here, it's so sticky. Get the camera down here a little bit without getting stuff all over my camera. It's starting to get a little better. Let me get my hands cleaned off so I won't be sticking everything. I'll be right back. Give me a little AP flour, as they call all-purpose. Easy for me to say. All right, I think that's good enough to work. So I'm just going to knead it just a little bit. And why am I kneading this bread? Because I need the taste of it. Yeah, it's an old cooking joke. Because I need it. It's sure sticky. All right. I know he just tears off a chunk and stretches it out. So we're going to do the same with the chunk. Sticky, sticky dough. And he just pulls it out. Yeah, I got to get more flour on my hands. I'm going to cook these in my Outdoor Boy, my old Scout mess kit. My hands are too sticky, so I'm just going to mash it out since I've got this silicone pad here. Let me turn my skillet on. I'll bring the camera over here so you can look at it. If this camera will pick up all the way over there. Yeah, here it is. This is part of my mess kit from the early 60s. My Boy Scout. I actually cooked a meal in that about a year or so ago. Get my bread, my tortilla, whatever he calls it, bread or whatever. Let me stick here. Here it is. Now you can hear the sizzle, which is a good thing. And this is with the bread flour. And while I've got this setting here, I'm going to take the rest of this dough while that's cooking. I'm going to take it into about maybe 4 pieces left. I've got a muffin tin here. Guess what that's doing? It's going in the tin. And I'm actually going to let this rise a little bit. It smells so good. It smells like my grandmother's and my mother's yeast rolls they used to make. All right, let me get this hands cleaned up here a little bit. Check this skillet bread over here. See what it looks like underneath. Yeah, it's cooking away. It's getting a little brown. You can see it's rising up. Well, I don't know if you can see it from there. You can see it's cooking away over here. And I've got another muffin tin, but it's not going to take that. I've got this in the oiled and the Outdoor Boys bread made with bread flour in here. I'm going to let it rise out here in the open for a little bit. See if this is ready to be turned. Yes, and this is my old Scout knife I made. Almost. There you go. pretty. Let it cook. All right, I'm gonna set these 4 little biscuits or muffins or bread or whatever off to the side and let them rise. Check and see how this is doing here. I've made a bread out of water. My old Boy Scout bread was water, flour, and salt. It kind of makes like a tortilla. It's pretty good stuff. It's cooking away. I've got another video of me making Boy Scout bread. It's flour, water, and salt. Kind of makes like a flour tortilla. And let's see if this is cooking on the bottom at all. See if it's cooking at all. Oh yeah. It's risen a little bit. It's kind of puffy. I noticed somebody on one of his videos was talking about it was like Indian fry bread. I don't know what Indian fry bread. I think I've seen it at a fair one time. So got my dinner plate. That's the top of the skillet. It's also used as your plate. Here is my little pot to cook out of, and my drink cup, 1 cup. All right, let's see about getting this out of here. It looks like on the back side here. Oh, it looks pretty. It smells pretty good. I'm gonna put it back on for about a minute. He cooks that bread on a campfire on the coals. So I don't know how hot that is, but so I'm cooking on a low. Can't go wrong there. I don't want to burn it up. All right, it's been a couple more minutes. Let's get this out. There you go. And he is always spreading butter and honey on his bread. So I'm gonna follow his instructions. He's always talking about how good it is. I can tell you, it smells wonderful. Oh my goodness. It smells like fresh yeast rolls. Of course, I think it really is. I think yeast rolls have, I don't know if they have veggie, and I can't remember my mother's recipe. I'm gonna actually make it. My family's got a cookbook called the Warnack Family Cookbook, and that recipe's in there a couple of times. They call it school rolls or let's see here. See if it's cool enough to. Boy, it tears really easy. Goodness. Here's the real deal. Is it edible? Tastes like a really good hot cake, pancake, flapjack, whatever you want to call it. It's really good. My goodness, that's good. It's hot, but it's really good. I'm gonna have it here in a minute with some honey on it. We do the final taste. All right. Get some more all-purpose flour down here. I think my grandmother's and aunt's school roll recipe just calls for flour, I think. can see this is pretty sticky here. And you see me, I didn't knead it up into a ball or anything when I put it in here. I just put it in like he did. Put the stuff in, mixed it around in the package. All right, see if I can get this out of here. There she goes, boys and girls. See some of the flour, and this is the all-purpose mixture. It does feel different. Good enough. It's stickier. It's going to need some working. Get some bench flour. I hear them say that all the time on the cooking show. Oh, we throw some bench flour up there. It's just all-purpose flour. It's good for anything and everything. It was still wet. It didn't absorb the. It absorbed all the liquid, but not. Some of the flour was still dry on the corners, but that's okay. I wanted to see if you could do it with regular flour. I just, after me making my Boy Scout bread, I just can't see why you couldn't make it with regular flour, all purpose as they say. Get these hands cleaned up. All right, I'm back. Get some more flour on my hand. Everybody kneads their bread differently. I don't even know if he had to knead it. I've seen some of the times he does that, and sometimes he just tears a chunk off. So I'm just going to tear a chunk off. It smells the same. It's got that yeast smell to it. My hands ain't the best in the world as far as working. But I think we can get it flattened out into a pancake size and enough to do a taste test on it for sure. This other, I'm gonna put the leftover of this. I'm gonna put this in that skillet. That muffin tin, and let it rise a little bit, and I'll bring you back for that. It smells really good. It smells just like the other. No difference. Get some flour off here. It stretches out actually easier. It's pretty thin now, so here she goes down. I'm just going to make 2 big biscuits with this leftover. That way I'll know the difference in it. Now that I got a little flour on it, it's doing good. Let's get these two bad boys here. They've got a little excess flour on the outside. I don't care. I try to roll the bottom and a piece of raw flour, chunk of flour here. Try to roll it to the bottom. Kind of pinch it up underneath. And that way and put it in the pan here. So these two bad boys are the regular all-purpose flour. Another piece of dry flour on top of it. These four are my cake flour ones. Let's see what this looks like over here. There you go. It's getting there. Get this set over the way. Get my hands taken care of. I'm going to take and cover this with a hand towel and I set it up here for about an hour or two, and I'll bring y'all back when I put those in the oven. Let's check on this baby boy here. Get any color? Yeah, it's getting color on it. Maybe 5 more minutes on it. Let's see what this tastes like with honey on it. I'll put it in a little bit in my Scout cup here. This is a friend of mine gave me this honey. He has some bee aviaries or bee boxes or whatever they call them. But it's just wild stuff, you know, flowers and trees and whatever the bees are finding. There's no orchard or anything else. Let's get about. That's good. I see what Luke's been talking about. Pretty good stuff, boys and girls. Pretty good stuff. See what this one looks like. It looks fine. Let's see here. Put a little bit of butter on here. The texture's different for sure. It's a little bit more crispy. More like a tortilla. More like it's really hot right now. Let's test it out with some honey. This is the one made with all-purpose flour. All right. That's good. will tell you though, it's a little crispier. And it does not have the yeast flavor to it. And they both had the same amounts. Same amounts of everything. Let me try another bite here, just in case my lips are lying to me. Can you make outdoor board bread with a regular all-purpose flour? You can. It's not the same flavor, but you can surely do it. Like, I never have bread flour. Never. Don't use it. Now, I have some now. It'd take me a long time to go through that. But, so yeah, you can do it. Now, we'll look back up into little round golden muffins of bread. We'll see here in a little bit. I'll bring you back on that part of the video. I've got my oven set at 300 degrees, excuse me, 325. I'm gonna put them in for about 15 minutes and then check them, and I'll bring you back at that time. These smell really good. Here's the two all-purpose. And these are done with the bread flour. Let's see what they taste like. They could have been browner. I could have taken melted butter and put it on the top before I put them in the oven. But I don't think Luke ever did that. I think he just put stuff on top of the coals and let it bake. So let's see what these taste like. I know what the bread tastes like. All right, I'm gonna try the little one. It baked on the bottom. I've not checked them. Yeah, they're done though. You can hear they're, hollow sounding. Let's see what they look like on the inside. Cut them in two before I put any butter. It's got a pretty texture. Looks like bread. Let's see what this tastes like. Cool it down a minute. It's dense because I didn't let these rise very long. It was really good. So Luke, my man, you do good work. All right. Let's try these bigger boys. I could see once this was ready to go in the pan, put some fresh blueberries in it and knead those into it. Yep. Actually, frozen would probably be deader. How's that look? Looks pretty good. Smells really good. And this is just all-purpose flour. And it's hot, hot, hot. Let's get a small piece. I can cool it down a little better. Kind of has the texture of sourdough, maybe. All right, let's get this. It smells really good. It's got the yeast smell to it. That'd be good with jelly, honey butter. Well, boys and girls, both of them are good. They're a little bit different, but in my mind, both of them have the yeast flavor to them, which is really great. Pretty easy to make. I'm sure if you put this in a stand mixer and mixed it properly, with a little bit of oil in it or butter, and let it rise, and then push it down and knead it one more time, and then cut it into pieces. You'd have some, and put some butter over the top. You'd have some specials. You'd have like the old dude coming to your house if you were making those. I love good yeast rolls. So anyway, that's all we're doing today. We're through with this video. It's been all day. I started this morning, it was 5 a.m. when I first started this video early. So I wanted to try to get it over. And now it's trying to get dark. It's around 5:15. So I'll just let y'all go. I appreciate it. If you got any questions, leave me a comment, share, subscribe, and do the old dude a favor. Give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and please share my videos. We'll see you on the next video.